Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next mock interview in this series where we are taking the mock interview for candidates. In case you are coming to the channel for the first time and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel to get the next mock interviews. For the people who are looking this series for the first time, in this series I am taking mock interview for candidates. The format of the mock interview is simple. I receive the resume, I ask question based on the skill set, experience and the projects which are mentioned in the resume. And at the end of the mock interview I provide feedback to the candidate that how they can improve in an actual interview. Please note that these are just mock interview, these are not for any company, any client or any of the job opportunity. In case you also want to appear for such a mock interview, all you have to do is just drop me your resume on my email ID and I would be happy to schedule a mock interview for you. In terms of cost, the mock interview is absolutely free for you. You don't have to pay anything. Also, you don't have to worry about your confidential details such as your name, company information, client information. Nothing is shared. Even for this mock interview, the name of the candidate is Satish, which is not his actual name, right? So your confidential details stays with me. If you are a candidate who is of a different skill set, you can watch the complete playlist where I have mock interviews of different experience. You can listen to the interview and you can get some context for your actual interview. So for today's mock interview, I have got a candidate whose name is Satish, name changed. Satish is having experience of close to 2 years now and he wanted to have a mock interview. So let's start mock interview for Satish. Okay, so Satish, I hope you are still able to hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so today I'm going to conduct a mock interview for you. The format of
Okay.
the mock interview is absolutely simple. I have your resume. I'm going to ask you a question based on your resume. You can provide me the answer. At the end of this session, I'm going to provide the overall feedback on the interview and the topics which you need to improve upon. Okay.
Okay.
In this is just a mock interview. It's not for any client, any customer, right? So you don't have to share any of your confidential details. Cool. So can we start by having a quick introduction about yourself?
Yes, sir. So I'm basically into RPA development since the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm having a relevant of experience of around 2 years. It's not completely 2 years, but it is 1 year, 10 months maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And my overall experience is around 4 years and 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, I worked for Java support role,
Mm.
and currently I'm working for UiPath only since the last 2 years.
Okay, got it. And in this last 2 years, how many process have you automated?
Uh, so basically, I have automated six processes, sir.
Uh-huh. End
Apart
to end?
from this, yes, all of
Okay.
them are end-to-end
Okay.
automations.
Hmm.
And apart from this, I have also did some DevOps things like change requests and bug fixes, other things also.
Okay, so you have an experience of development plus support, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Have you done any certification from UiPath?
No, sir, but I have completed the diploma of RPA Developer Advanced from the
Hmm.
academy.
Okay, cool. Fine. And you have done 6 projects. Okay. Now, out of these six
Yes,
projects,
sir.
I want you to talk about any one of the project. Okay. Anyone which you're
Yes,
comfortable talking about. Talk me through the
yes,
problem statement. What was the robot doing? What was your role in it? And then I can ask you the next set of questions.
yes, sir. So in the latest project that I have worked on,
Hmm.
the client asked me to automate their process. So
Okay.
the problem statement is we need the bot should enter the loan IDs into their application
Hmm.
and fetch all the and it must fill all the details. And the problem here is the page is very much uh, it loads up. The page is very much active. It
Mm-hmm.
can't wait more than 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
So within 1 to 2 minutes, we must enter all the data, and then we must proceed to the further next transaction.
Okay.
So this is my main challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I have used selectors over there,
Mm-hmm.
selectors, and I was able to accomplish the task. So
Okay.
the resolution of the screen that I worked on was
Hmm.
big. It was 1920 into 1680. So
Okay.
initially, what I did was I worked on through my laptop.
Okay.
So accessing the selectors became a bit challenging, but then with the help of UI Explorer, I was able to navigate to each and every element what I wanted and fine tune the selectors
Hmm.
to my desired condition. And after that, I was able to accomplish the task for there.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Now, have you built this in dispatcher performer model? Is it built
Yes,
in
yes,
RE framework? Right.
yes, sir. It's visible in my framework.
Okay. Can you tell me what is the transaction item here?
It's a queue item, sir. Transaction
Okay.
item is initially in the dispatcher.
Uh-huh.
The data item, the transaction item is data row, but
Mm-hmm.
the data row, whenever the data row is being passed to this one, I have added that content to the queue item. I mean, into the queue, dispatcher queue
Okay.
for each and every transaction item, added that to the queue.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Before that, what is the frequency of this project? Is it a daily, weekly, monthly?
It's a monthly basis project, sir.
It's a monthly process, right? And how many transactions are you getting?
Uh, Around 800 to 1000 transactions may be running.
Okay. How much time does it take to complete one transaction?
One transaction hardly takes around 2 minutes.
Okay. So your process is running for a very long time. Okay. Now,
Yes,
where would the process get this loan ID from? Loan ID, right? The first thing, if I run it on the 1st of, let's say, August, right? Where
yes.
would the process get this loan ID?
Yeah, actually,
Hmm.
the all the details of regarding the loan ID and everything are
Mm-hmm.
kept in a shared location
Mm-hmm.
from the client.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we need to the bot access the shared path from there,
Mm-hmm.
and from there it gets the details of from them.
Okay. And this is an Excel.
Yes, the
Okay.
business provides the data in a
Hmm.
Excel file,
Hmm.
and all the columns and rows. I mean, the column format that doesn't change. That
Okay.
remains the same
Can you tell me
for any given month.
which activity in UiPath are you using to download the data from shared location?
To get the file from the shared location,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just give me 1 second, sir.
Oh, that's no,
Uh,
no, no.
in-
No.
I use as an activity, sir. Initially I use as an activity and pass the directory.get files syntax over there and pass the shared location path over there. So
Mm-hmm.
it gets the all the files in that location. So whenever
Okay.
there is a match between
What
the,
would be the output of directory.get files?
it is a collection of the files in the, I mean the
Mm-hmm.
string array.
String array, right? Now, let's
Yes.
say today my files are located in C colon data. Tomorrow I change the location of
Okay.
the file location, right? I am the business. I am saying that, hey, Satish, now you have to read it from a different location, right?
Okay.
What
Yes.
what changes we need to do in automation?
Yes. So the best practice is to place the
Mm-hmm.
file location in the config file.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, we need to create an asset in the orchestrator. And orchestrator asset must be maintained so that as per our ease, we can modify the asset value and simply we can reflect the asset in the config file so that the bot can reference from there directly.
Okay, and what kind of asset it would be?
It would be a text asset.
Okay, in the text asset, we will put all those values. Okay, fine.
Yes,
So I have
yes,
downloaded the Excel, right? Now, which activity in UiPath I am using to read the Excel?
yes. So depending upon our requirement, if at all we want to work with an workbook, I mean, we have two activities here. One
No,
is read range.
which one you are using?
I use read range workbook activities here.
Read range workbook. Okay. And then you
Yes.
load all this data to the queue. Okay.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
activity are you using to load the data to the queue?
So load data to the for I'm keeping the I'm using for each row activity,
Mhm.
and inside that I'm using the add queue item activity, which is provided by UiPath.
But you already
For
have
it,
a data table, right? We can completely upload the data table also, right? Bulk
yeah,
upload queue item.
bulk add queue item. That's also that is also possible.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did was for
Hmm.
each row I passed the
Why?
transaction item.
Okay, which one
Yeah,
would be faster? The bulk would be faster or the for each would be faster?
bulk would be faster, sir, because it
Hmm.
adds everything at one go.
Hmm.
So bulk would be faster than the get transaction, I mean, add queue item activity.
Okay, so why are you using then for each, right? If bulk is faster.
Yeah, actually, uh, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I mean, I was not so much aware of this bulk item activity. So after this, I came to know
Mm-hmm.
about the bulk add queue item activities.
Okay, so can you tell me what is the difference between bulk add and adding it one by one?
Yes, sir. Bulk add queue item activity, it it adds all the data from the Excel file,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean
No,
in a CSV file or Excel file.
that is the name, right? Bulk add, upload everything. It will add one by
Yes,
one.
yes.
What is the difference? That is one difference, right? That makes sense, right? Why UiPath will always have a slower one, right? When we have the faster one. Do we have any difference?
Uh, so whenever we want to add, okay, that's for the bulk add queue item. But in case if you want to process each and every one uniquely, we can use with the go with this get add queue
Mm-hmm.
item activity.
Hmm.
In case if we want to add everything at one go, we will be having this bulk add queue item activity
Okay, fine. Now, so you have added everything to the queue.
queue.
Okay. Now
Yes,
you have to
yes,
read the data to the queue and you have put it into some application. Okay. Now,
yes,
what
yes,
happens if your application is not responding? Your application is down.
yes. So initially
Hmm.
in RE framework, what is the so the main purpose of RE framework is that it should it does the
Mm-hmm.
everything in a proper manner. Like it
No,
ensures that the
what happens
application
to
should
your automation? So question is not
yeah
what RE framework will
yeah
do,
yeah
what
yeah
your automation will do.
it fails.
How?
It, so because in the init all applications
Uh-huh.
we it will be searching for this application which
Okay.
is not actually responding,
Uh-huh.
or it might be down. So
Uh-huh.
it obviously throws in a system exception. So the bot goes to the end state.
Okay, the bot goes to the end state. Okay, got it, got it. That makes sense. Okay. Now, I'm going through your resume and I see that you have worked on some SQL Server projects also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me
Yes.
if I have a table, right, and I want to get the total number of rows from that table? Absolutely simple task. I have a student table in the database. Okay.
Okay.
In that student
Okay.
table, I have some student entry 5, 10, 20, 15. I want
Okay.
my automation to simply get me the total number of records which are available in the table.
Okay.
What would I do and which activities I can use?
Okay.
You understood the question?
Uh, I mean, we are having a data table. I mean, we are having a table in SQL Server
Hmm.
which contains a student's data of
Right.
around 50 to or 50
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
15 or 50 items.
Hmm.
So we need to fetch all the data into our database.
Correct. We want to
Okay.
get the count only, the
And the count.
10 student, 20 students and all.
Okay, 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 sir.
So how can
So
I do that? Which activity I'll use? First thing, what will I do?
yes, so basically we have two activities. So one is execute query and execute non-query. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so execute query that retrieves the data table or the table of the SQL server. It gives us the data table. Whereas execute non-query,
Mm-hmm.
it gives us the count of the rows affected. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, we can simply go with an SQL statement. I mean, like select star from
Hmm.
tables where count or select count of that particular column
Hmm.
where we can provide the condition like the student ID or count. Some
Hmm.
criteria
Hmm.
will be there, no, sir.
Okay. 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 So do I
We
need to
can
connect to
provide.
the database first?
Yes, 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 yes,
And
yes.
which
We need to control
activity I'll
database.
use to connect?
Control database activities used for that, sir.
Okay. Fine. We are going to use the connect database activity. Okay. Okay. I have a scenario for you. Okay.
Yes,
I
yes,
have
sir.
I have an application, right? It is in the browser. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now,
Okay,
in that application, I have a drop down. Okay.
okay, sir.
That drop down has all the name of the states in India, right?
Okay,
Mumbai,
okay,
Delhi, Dehradun, Visakhapatnam, Kerala, all the states name is there, right? I have to
yes.
write an automation where I have to get all these names and put it into an Excel file.
Okay, sir.
All these names are in a drop down and I have to put it into an Excel file.
Okay, sir.
So which activity I can use and how can I do that?
So we can that there are all of the values are present in a drop down.
In a drop
So
down,
we
right? So,
can
hmm,
use a get full text activity here, as far as my knowledge is concerned.
hmm,
Uh, because get full text activity, and we can indicate the drop down.
hmm,
So it extracts all the hidden in text also for
okay,
us
okay,
and gives us the output. So that gives us a string,
hmm,
and we need to convert the string to
hmm,
some array or
hmm.
because and for each element in that array we can write the value into an Excel file.
But which activity I will use to convert it to string to array?
We can use a syntax called
Hmm,
uh, for a string dot to array, sir. String dot array. Suppose the variable that we are using is list of states,
uh-huh,
that is a string variable,
uh-huh,
and if we want to convert into array means we can
uh-huh,
use uh, uh, state array equal to list of states dot to array.
uh-huh.
So
Okay,
this converts the all the given states into an array of states,
okay.
and we can take a write cell activity inside the for each loop.
But that would only work, right? Because when you need to have some separator, right? It should be comma separated. How would UiPath know whether, let's say, Tamil space Nadu is one state space Delhi, right? So when you will do string array, it will simply put Tamil as the first state, Nadu as the second state, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Understood the question?
Oh, yes, sir.
Right? So for example, it's Andhra Pradesh, right? So Andhra becomes the first state, Pradesh
And,
becomes the second
and
state,
second,
right?
yes.
How can I handle
Okay,
this?
okay. So, mm,
You got the
just give me
question?
1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Uh, so we are having the spaces in between, and we want to, I mean, after
Hmm.
cutting this text, or else we can do one thing, sir.
Hmm.
If the states are in the drop down, and each of them will be separated by a new line,
Mm-hmm.
because
Hmm.
they will be in a new line format.
Okay.
Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. So if we
Hmm.
use new line as separator,
Hmm.
then we can get each and every state name in a particular index of the string array.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. So, which version of UiPath are you using now?
Currently, I'm using 22.4.5 enterprise version.
Okay.
Earlier, I worked on 21.10.10.
Okay. Can you tell me any two difference between 2021.10 and 2022.4?
Uh,
So you
20
you have used both the enterprise versions, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what is the difference? Anything which comes to your mind?
Yes, sir. I mean, in terms of the coding thing, I
Mm-hmm.
can say one thing for sure, sir. We must
Yeah.
explicitly define the uh, class of the variable. Suppose, for example, if you are using dictionary,
Mm-hmm.
so we must specify the class of the dictionary like system.dictionary. So system.dictionary and system.io dot. If there is any ambiguity, we need to explicitly mention the class name. Then it will
But
work. Otherwise, it won't take the current class
but
that
that
which we
is a,
want to
that
work
that
on.
but that is not a feature, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is not a difference, right? It is simply like the
Yes, yes,
developer forgot to write system.io. He's directly typing, right? So
yes,
in terms of feature, right? Because 2021 and 2022, it's more than two releases, right? Anything, right? And
yes,
both of them you have used the enterprise version, if I can see.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Uh,
Okay, no problem. Last question to you is, can you tell me the difference between a throw and a rethrow?
yes, sir.
Hmm.
So, throw activity
Mm-hmm.
is used to throw an exception which we want to throw at a particular point of time, and
Okay.
rethrow is used to catch that thrown expression and thrown an exception and rethrow it again. So rethrow works only when there is a throw block, when there is an and the catch block only.
Hmm.
Rethrow works only in the catch block only.
Hmm.
So if we suppose if you are trying to open an notepad
Mm-hmm.
and there is some exception coming out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and if we caught the exception in and if we throw that and if it is and the catch block, if there is rethrow, then only it will work, sir.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Fine. So I'm done with my set of questions, Satish. Before coming to your feedback, right? I have one question for
Yes,
you.
sir.
How do you feel
Yes,
your
sir.
interviewers? What is your feedback on your own interview? I know this is a weird question, but uh, how do you think you have performed in this interview?
I think I can do a bit better because I'm
Mm-hmm.
a bit excited while saying the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the main reason why I was not able to communicate what my idea was to you properly. I think so. This is one of my
Hmm.
drawback. I need to correct on this,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I need
And yeah, yeah, go ahead.
yes, sir. I need to be a bit pleasant and calm while answering the questions. That's what I
Right.
feel.
Right. That's correct. Right. So because you are always in a hurry to answer the questions, right? You're not listening to the questions properly and you are answering it. You are trying to answer everything, right? So I think you should stay focused to the question. That is the first feedback. The second feedback is on the project. Your project
Yes,
explanation is not good at all. Right. You just started with, I have a loan application. I need to put up into that application, and we have faced this challenges, right?
yes,
I
sir.
never ask you that what are the challenges you face, right? See, for me,
Yes,
it is I wanted to understand a project, right? But I don't know. So the project explanation could be simple, right? What is the business problem? Why you are automating it, what are the input sources, share drive, getting it from the share drive, running it monthly, putting into the folder, robot picking it, going into the performer, executing, logging, report, right? Nothing.
yes,
So you directly explain that I have a loan application, I fill it, I put it to the that thing, and I have this issue, and that's it. right? So project explanation was not at all satisfied. It was not at all good, right? So I want you to work upon your project explanation, explain your project very clearly, because that is the thing where next set of questions you will get, right? So
Okay.
work on the project explanation, right? You have answered me the questions correctly: directory.get file, config, asset thing. Simple thing, add versus add queue versus bulk queue, you were not able to answer. The thing is that when you use the add queue item, right, you are able to get the unique reference. Bulk queue add item do not gives the provision of unique reference,
Okay, sir. Okay.
right? That's the difference. So read it about it. So the idea is simple, right? Whatever you are using in your project, you should aware of all the activities. Why you are using it, that is definitely you need to study, but why you are not using it, that you need to also be aware of, right? So for example, Excel, right? You are using Excel, you are using workbook,
Yes.
but why are you not using that? You need to have a valid answer.
Yes, sir. The I know
Hmm.
the so
Hmm.
if in case if we use Excel application scope, if the Excel is open,
Hmm.
then the bot throws an exception. I mean, uh, if another process is trying to access on the workbook
Hmm.
the same time while the bot is running,
Hmm.
then this is not.
Hmm. So the same thing you could have told me for the bulk add and the add queue as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was the expectation. Okay. Now, the other thing is you have highlighted in your resume very bold. I can see that you have very bold. In bold, you have mentioned that I have worked on a migration of enterprise project and I have worked from 2021 to 2022. But you are not
Yes,
able to
sir.
give me any update, anything which is
Okay,
new
sir.
in this slide. Do you think it makes sense?
No, sir. No. Yes.
So let's
I need
think,
to
right?
know.
Let's say you are a developer, right? You are a developer, right? You have worked for
Yes.
4 years. Now you say that, hey, I have worked for 2021 2022. That's close to two releases of UiPath, entire 1 year. And then I say that I'm not able to give you even one update which is new. What would be your
Yes.
impression,
It would not be good, sir. Yes.
right? Not be
Yes.
good, but at least see the point which I'm coming to is you have highlighted in bold many things in your resume, right? So whatever you have
Yes, sir.
highlighted in bold, you should be aware of all of that, right? Such as OCR, Tesseract, this 2021, 2022, Cadence, PDD, SDD, database activity. I asked you a question on the databases because that's what you have highlighted in the resume, right? And you
Yes.
answered me correctly. That's not a problem there. But whatever you mentioned in the resume, not only highlighted, you should be aware of all of that. Okay.
Okay.
One feedback on your resume only talk about the project, right? You have just mentioned it in lines, right? Your resume is not readable. When I say not readable, if you just go to the section of the projects, okay, you have mentioned email automation, PDF bot, all these bots which you have mentioned, right? But it does not talk
Yes.
about uh, which technology you have used, which part of UiPath you have used. Is it Excel automation, web automation? What was the team size, right? What was your role in it, right? So if I just read one of your automation, which you have mentioned, it says that using the PowerPoint and Excel activity in UiPath, I have designed this robot that automatically updates the color and modified the template and creates a copy of the template in PowerPoint. That's it, right? How would I know
Yes.
how
Yes.
much what you have done here, right? It's simply for me, it's just like open the PowerPoint, save as, and do it, right? So do you think
Okay.
it's a full project, whatever you have mentioned? Opening the project, changing the color, and then saving it again. Is it a full project to be mentioned? Or maybe you have not mentioned it correctly, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. That's what I need to
Right.
improve it.
Yeah, so work on your resume because projects are something which will uh, have a impact, right? Major impact on your interview. Apart from that, you could answer me most of the things, but projects is something which you need to work both on the resume as well as your explanations. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, cool. So that is it. I have it for you, Satish, today. How was your feedback on this mock interview?
It was nice. It was very nice. I
Okay.
got a chance to introspect myself and
Hmm.
improve the areas on where I'm lacking.
Okay.
So I'll definitely follow your advice and do the same.
Perfect. And then once you get a new job, just let me know. Yes.
Yes, sir. Sure, sure.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. All the best for your future interviews and just work on this point and you should be good. Okay.
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you
cool.
so much.
Thanks, Satish. Have a good day. Bye.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that is it for this mock interview. I hope this was insightful. I would appreciate your feedback on this interview, that how do you like this and do you like to see more of such mock interview. With this, I would like to wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel and happy automation.